Folks, you know what's funny? We're totally cool with the people who believe a bipolar dude in the sky is the almighty. We make all kinds of accommodations for those folks. We're ignoring the separation of church and state and letting them push their dogma into our schools. Hell, Secretary of Defense Petey Petiti Hegseth is hosting monthly Christian prayer services at the Pentagon on workdays for employees and broadcasting them live on the department's internal TV network. Establishment's clause, schmestablishment's clause, right, folks? From a non-believer's perspective, the Big G Sky Daddy looks like a scam to separate people into good buckets and bad buckets. He looks like a fear tactic made up by men without much imagination and an ulterior motive to keep men on top. There's no scientific proof whatsoever that the Big G exists. No proof the people who think they speak to him are sane. I'm looking at you, Moses Mega Mike Jesus Johnson. Think about all the violence that has resulted from disagreements about who the Big G is, who the Big G likes, and who the Big G would want you to annihilate. And nobody has one shred of evidence that he's not a giant fairy tale. Meanwhile, the gender spectrum is well established in science and has been for a long time. We don't have to just take transgender people's word for it. Transgender people are just as normal as gay people, left-handed people, nearsighted people, athletic people, short people, tall people, talented people, disabled people, all kinds of people. Trans people often know they're trans by the age of 3. It's not a preference, it's just who they are. Nobody comes out of the womb with the notion of God. God has to be taught. Have you ever heard a 5-year-old say, "Nah, Judaism doesn't feel right for me. I must be a Catholic"? Nope. But a trans 5-year-old will say, "I'm not a boy, I'm a girl," or vice versa. We not only allow religious folks plenty of room to flaunt their Sky Daddy beliefs, we accept Christians' judgment of everyone who they find unchristian as part of religious freedom. Telling gay people they're going to burn in hell is just part of the program. Sky Daddy gives them cover. Doctors can opt out of providing healthcare services if they object on religious grounds. Apparently, the Big G makes doctors in his image, so they get to bless these ones, not those ones, just like the Almighty. I'm sure it would be totes fine if doctors refused to treat non-Christians. Either you're a believer or you bleed out. Praise be. Funny, for a club that worships a dude nailed to a cross, Christians have a really hard time with discomfort. As soon as they feel uneasy, they need to cast out the source. And with Big G as their Sky Daddy, they think they have the right to do so. It's not that Christians can't deal with their own feelings about trans people. It's that God thinks they're an abomination. Get rid of them. Must be nice to be so righteous you get to go around correcting perceived wrongs with the excuse that your fairy tale dad told you to do it. Sounds a lot like mentally ill people who commit crimes because the voices in their heads say it was their duty. Yeah. The fact that we've allowed some fantasy Sky Daddy with anger issues and severely narcissistic tendencies to inform, instruct, or justify anything we do is ridiculous. And I, for one, am done settling for the Christian catch-all excuse for shitty behavior. If you can't prove with evidence that Big G told you to be an ass, your assholery doesn't get to take up space in my life. If your excuse for being a dinkus is that Sky Daddy or Jesus told you to behave that way, I'm going to ask you to prove it with evidence. Then I'm going to tell you to have the day you deserve. Yeah.